Okay, Robert, welcome back to the training center. We're friends by now, so many times here. Okay, there you go. Okay, um, so let's see what we have. Okay, in general terms, I'd say that position to start with is pretty nice. Where you are on the lane, that will work pretty well. I think we have a little bit of shoulder tilt, which is good. We need to have that. Okay. The ball is slightly inside. It's kind of too much under your right eye, and we like it to be a little bit more in front of the right shoulder. Okay. Yeah, because the way to do it is not really by turning the body or turning the arm. The way by doing is by getting the entire right side a little bit more open. Okay, so it's a little bit more there, like shuffling it that way instead of getting into over here. Okay, I'll show you what that is. That's a little bit. Yes, but if you are here and you actually keep that there and open there, see, it ends up over here. And the more you turn, is over there. Okay, so what I can see is that the hips are almost straight and this foot is slightly back. So your shoulders are almost very straight also. So the hips and the shoulder are on the same plane, but that foot is a little bit farther back, which means your feet are a little bit more angled, but your hips and shoulders aren't. Okay, so we're going to get that. And as I go that way, the entire right side goes a little bit more open, and the ball ends up being more over here. Okay. Okay. So you go left, a little bit left and left. Now all your three first steps are going left. Okay. Because if you look at where we start, and we kind of look at the front over here. Okay. This would be kind of a straight line. There's no breakage on that line. Kind of like there. Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit of. Okay. So your first step, even though it went fairly straight, is actually right now is pointing a little bit to the left. Okay. So what happens is your next step is likely to take on the same direction as that foot. Because my hips, they want to go in the same direction as your feet. Otherwise, the knees won't like it very much, right? If I try to go there and my knees over here and I try to go over there, it's like the knee won't like it. So on your second step, you're going to go in the same direction and the foot is pointing in the same direction. So now you see that you're going left again, okay? And the ball is a little bit inside of you, okay? Now you're in a good position there, even though the ball is slightly on this side of the head. We like it to be a little bit more over there. And then he pops back out. Now he's actually getting out again. And now you have a big. Now look at your third step. So 1, 2, and 3 pointed left. Now your next one is going to have to reroute and turn because now you have to slide to the right because as you walk left, 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 now you ended up too far from your target. So it reroutes, okay, and now you're actually in a straight line to where the body is, but actually that's away from the pocket. Yes. So now you have to slide to the right, and so now your foot and everything is pointing a little bit too far right, and the top has to come around, and then you see how the right shoulder goes around, okay, and that coming out that way, he's just trying to save the ball trying to go there. So I can tell you, I want the hand to be more open. I want to be in the inside and all those pretty things. But the reality is that with that system, you have to come that way a little bit. You got no other choice. So you end up with the elbow outside the hand because you have to fire that right shoulder to save the ball from going right. So the best way for us to kind of fix that is by starting a little bit more left. So you have to walk less to the left and try to get into the right direction. Okay, so we're going to kind of see how much of that we need to do. Okay. And of course, the most strength part of of your system is going to be you got rev rate, you got ball speed, you got all those things. But in general terms, the only element that is not really quite pure is your alignment and your direction and your direction. Okay. Now, of course, there's some lane conditions that are going to show it more than other ones. And the flatter and the more difficult they are, the more difficult it gets because we can miss very much. But that's normal for everybody. Okay. But if they give you some area on the right, then you can bowl a million. Because exactly. Exactly. So I would think that that would be the only thing that we should actually work this way. Okay. Let me see from the side. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. Now you have I think we need to change a little bit of the entire way of getting to the foul line because when you look at one and two, they're so big and so fast. Meaning, like you have a lot of motion, a lot of weight. You're not a small guy, and the more weight and the farther you put the ball in front of you, and that weight actually brings you down, and then you have momentum going forward. There is a lot of weight being transferred into the front. So there's only one way to stop it, which is having that third step very small and with the toes, meaning like a slide third step. And that's because you're trying to restrain yourself from falling onto your face. So you go one, two, three. So you're going to see that you have kind of big and see how much inertia you got going forward. But now your next step is going to be very small and with a slide right there. And you have to stop it. And then you're going to go into the position. Okay. So now your timing is very good in terms of the foul line. This is where you stop sliding. That's very good. There is nothing, no problem. I would like that foot to be on the outside better than the inside because the inside is what when you flare your foot open from the inside, your hip opens. Okay. And if I want to keep, sorry, if I want to keep the hips straight this way, I have to go there. So the hip remains there. When I flare the inside, it just goes to there and the hip opens. Now I have to close from the top. But if I'm getting to that position, I just go that way. My hips remain square, so my swing goes that way. Okay, from here, I have to fire. So I would like that to be slightly different. And I want to get right here. Once you get to there, okay, that's very typical. Now the foot, the shoe needs to flip that way and be on the little bit on the outside of the shoe, not resting the whole thing. I don't like that, but it should be kind of like here, there, and forward that way, not like that, but just there, not this way. Okay. Now that is kind of difficult to do if I have to slide to the right. So we're also going to fix how to get, so instead of going left, 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 reroute going right, we're going to keep ourselves kind of straight going forward, everything pointing forward and getting that foot to slightly go that way. That will keep your hips straighter. So it's still in your case is alignment and is getting to the foul line the right way. Okay? Then we're going to fix that. Now, as long as on top of the swing, your hand tends to go a little bit to the side too early, okay? And once you are there, in the inside, in the outside of the ball instead of the inside of the ball, it's very difficult to manipulate the release the way you want to, because from here you can only do two things: either spin it or go this way. You can't really get the roll and the right amount of tilt, so you're going when every time you move left, the ball may like bail. The ball is going to and bail. If you get too much ball, the ball won't hook in the back. If you don't have enough, it won't read early enough. Okay, so you're going to struggle a little bit. So we need to fix that position to having the entire thigh turning counterclockwise. So you stay on the left, on the outside part of the foot over here and getting that online, which we're going to work on. Sounds good? Okay. So let me.